Welcome to DBSync Cloud Replication. Let's walk through how to set up a complete bidirectional sync between Salesforce and SQL Server, and I'll show you the whole thing in under 5 minutes. Right here on the dashboard, we're going to add a new app. The data source is already set to Salesforce. We'll give this profile a name and confirm. Great, the new profile shows up right away in our apps list. You can see we also have existing profiles. Let's go ahead and open that one. This brings us to the Salesforce connection details. The environment is set to production/development. Below that, you'll see the SOAP endpoint URL. You can use your username and password or OAuth to connect. Down in the advanced settings, we've got the incremental update time offset set to 0 seconds, the API calls usage limit at 100,000, and the Salesforce objects type set to replicatable, which means these objects support both clean copy and incremental replication. Let's go ahead and persist these settings. Perfect, the connection properties are saved. Now let's verify everything is working. We'll test the connection. Now let's head over to the Database tab. Here we're pointing to a SQL Server instance. Enter the host IP, port 1433, that's the default for SQL Server. Username, database, and the schema. You can also see the full JDBC connection URL generated automatically at the bottom. There are options for SSL, integrated security, and AAD password authentication if your setup requires them. We'll persist these database settings as well. And just like before, let's verify the connection. Moving on to the Objects tab. This is where we choose which Salesforce objects to replicate. The system is loading all available objects from the connected Salesforce org, and here they are. We've selected the contact object. On the right, you can see 60 available fields that will be synced. Over on the excluded side, there's one field already excluded, description for this demo. Depending on your requirement, you can include or exclude any fields you want. It's that flexible. You pick exactly what flows between the two systems. Now for the actual replication part. Under the Run dropdown, you'll see all the sync commands available. Update schema, clean copy, source to DB incremental, DB to source, metadata backup, and update formula fields. For our first sync, let's kick off a clean copy. This wipes the target table and brings over a fresh, full copy of the data. Over on the Logs tab, you can watch the job in real time. Auto refresh is turned on, so the progress updates automatically. It starts at 0, picks up the first object, and there we go, 100% complete. One object processed. For this sync, 14 APIs were consumed from the limit, and the contact object brought over all 17 records. Total elapsed time? 13 seconds. That's it. Let's confirm the data actually landed. Switching over to SQL Server Management Studio, we're connected to the same prod replication demo database. Let me expand the tables node. There's our selected table. Contact table created automatically by the sync. Let's open it up and take a look at the data. Here we go, a select query on the contact table. You can see all the columns, the Salesforce ID, update timestamps, first name, last name, account info, email, phone, mailing address fields. Everything we selected came through perfectly. All 17 contact records are right here in SQL Server. That's a one-to-one copy from Salesforce. Now let's flip over to Salesforce and look at the same data from the source side. Here's our all contacts list, 17 items, the same records we just replicated. To demonstrate incremental sync, let's make a change in Salesforce. I'll open up the contact record for Ms. Ashley James. Let's edit this record and update the first name, so we can easily spot this change when it lands in the database. Back in DBSync, let's run an incremental sync source to DB. Unlike clean copy, this only picks up records that changed since the last run. The job kicks off. Progressing through the objects. And it's done. Contact object synced, and job is successfully completed in just a few seconds. Back in SQL Server Management Studio, let's check the contact table again. And right there, you can see the first name has been updated to the latest changes. The incremental change from Salesforce flowed through instantly. Now let's go the other direction. What if someone updates a record directly in the database and you need that change pushed back to Salesforce? We'll run an update statement here, changing the first name. And critically, we also set the DBSync flag to 1. That flag is what tells DBSync, hey, this record was modified on the database side. Pick it up on the next sync. Let's verify with a quick select. And there it is. The first name is updated, and the flag is set to 1. Back in DBSync, we'll select DB to source from the Run menu. This pushes changes from SQL Server back into Salesforce. The job is running. You can see the contact object status showing transferring as it pushes the update to Salesforce. And it's complete. All 3 jobs are now visible in the logs: DB to source, source to DB, and clean copy. All finished successfully. One more thing you'll want to set up: notifications. Under the Notification tab, we can choose email as the channel type. You get granular control here. Receive alerts when a process starts, when it completes, or when it errors out. You can also monitor object level and field level changes, added, updated, or removed. Enter your email recipients and pick which days you want notifications sent. And finally, let's automate the whole thing. Under Schedule Jobs, you choose which command to run on a schedule. Anything from update schema to source to DB incremental, DB to source, and more. The repeat options are very flexible. You can run it every few minutes, hourly, weekly, on a custom schedule, or even use a cron expression for full control. For this demo, let's set up a weekly source to DB incremental job and pick the days we want it to fire. We'll confirm, and the schedule is live. And that's it. In under 5 minutes, we've set up a complete Salesforce to SQL Server replication, configured both connections, selected our objects and fields, ran a full clean copy, demonstrated incremental sync in both directions, set up email notifications, and scheduled automated jobs. That's the power of DBSync Cloud Replication. Simple setup, real-time visibility, and bidirectional sync, all without writing a single line of code. The results from DBSync customers are clear: a 70% reduction in manual data entry, a 40% improvement in data accuracy, and teams getting back roughly a quarter of their developer time every year. To see it yourself, visit the DBSync Replication Playground for a live, no-download demo, book a walkthrough at mydbsync.com, or explore the full technical docs at docs.mydbsync.com. DBSync Cloud Replication can move tens of million records across any source and target in just minutes, at scale, without the complexity. One pipeline, 0 headaches. That's DBSync.